Hello and welcome to the Seychelles. I'm currently standing in a place that for many years in a row has been voted to be the best beach in the world. But let's be honest, you've probably seen pictures like this before, all over social media and travel booklets. Yet, in today's video, I want to dive deeper than just the superficial beach culture and show you parts of this land that never really get the attention they deserve. We'll take you to places that most tourists never go. You will see parts of this country that make it so unique compared to other island nations, and by the end of it, you will understand, just as we did, why the Seychelles should not be your first option if you simply want to have a relaxing beach holiday. But now, let's start from the very beginning. Our journey today begins with a boat ride to the second biggest island of the Seychelles. Hour and 15 minutes on the ferry, and we have made it to our second island on the Seychelles, Pralines Island. This small green paradise with around 8,000 people living there is mostly known to be the home to some of the best beaches in the world. Anse Georgette, Anse Lazio, the red granite on the white sand beach surrounded by blue water. It's a very interesting and beautiful combination. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against having a cold beer on the world's most beautiful beach. The vibe of this place. In fact, it might as well be one of the best ways to spend one's holiday. Yet to a curious traveler, this island offers even more amazing things to see. And so, after a few hours of getting to know Pralines, we settled into our accommodation.
So this is your room for your stay.
So that we would be ready and rested on the following day to start discovering one of the world's most unique national parks. And it turns out this room comes with a warning.
That there might be lizards, insects, geckos coming to the room, and that they're part of the ecosystem and you should be fine with them.
So this room is pet friendly. The morning started early and we had to rush to catch the first bus that would then take us to the very heart of this island. We've made it to the crown jewel of Pralines Island, the most famous national park in the Seychelles. In 1744, when Pralines was first discovered, it was actually called the Island of Palms. And as we stepped into the world-famous Vaday National Park, it became clear why. One palm leaf totally blocks the road. It looked like nothing we have ever seen before. Everything here looks like you're in a movie of Jurassic Park. It's so massive. This forest feels ancient, and due to its location, it has been separated from the rest of the world for thousands of years.
So islands like these that are fairly far from the mainland are a very, very good breeding ground for all of the unique species.
The nature here is really one of a kind. From green geckos to black parrots. From luscious plants to gigantic snails. This snail is the size of my hand. Many species here are endemic, meaning that they live nowhere else in the world. Yet what makes Vaday truly stand out is actually a special type of tree. So this tree is called coco de mar, sea coconut, or quite accurately double coconut. And the whole ecosystem relies on this special palm tree. It has ridiculously huge leaves, which protect the forest floor from the midday sun. Look at those leaves. They're 5 times the size of me. But perhaps even more impressive are its seeds. Oh my god. Those things, they make coconuts look like small little toys.
There's this, they're like a coconut. There's this husk around and then the seed is inside, and the seed is the shape of...
This tree has the biggest seeds on our planet. I can't believe how big this is. and this is far from the biggest. It's probably 10-15 kilos. It takes this palm between 6 and 8 years to grow just one seed.
But why would one of the seeds need to grow that big?
Yeah, those palms have gone really for quality over quantity, because once this falls on the ground it has so much nutrition that there's a huge chance that it will grow. And yes, they absolutely look like butts. Does it look similar?
What happens if you touch a lot of butts with your hands?
Your hands are brown, eh? Spending time in this ancient forest was truly an incredible experience.
So in a nutshell, pun not intended, in a nutshell, this national park is a lot about walking around in the rainforest and seeing coco de mer trees everywhere.
And in fact, there is another aspect that makes exploring such places even easier.
And also one of the nice things is that there is no dangerous land animals here.
We just didn't expect to find such amazing hiking trails in a country that is mostly known as a beach destination. Glorious.
They were so cool.
But just as we were about to leave, we noticed one last thing about the coco de mer tree. Old palms don't really have a lot of natural enemies here on the Seychelles, but the young ones do. And you can see from here, they have long prickles, like very long and sharp. Those thorns are there to protect the young plants against a beast that can weigh as much as a horse. And this very animal that the palms are trying to repel was exactly who we tried to find next. Before visiting this country, I thought that these living fossils can only be found on the Galapagos Islands. But boy, was I wrong. And to properly see them, we decided to book a tour. We took to the streets to find a travel agent, yet few minutes later met Davis, a local gentleman whose office was, well, under a tree. And just like we have learned from other places all around the world, booking a tour in person tends to be much cheaper than doing it online. So we just booked ourselves a tour from the Pralines Island, and usually it's about 100 euros. Now that we took 2 people, we got it down to 75 euros per person, which is a very good price. We literally saved 50 euros by simply walking to the beach ourselves. And if you want to know more about how to find best tours with cheapest prices, then in the end of this video I will tell you exactly where this information can be found. Because by now it was time for us to jump on the boat. How are you guys?
Yeah, very good, and you?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Welcome, yes.
Our captain Sonny took us for a ride on the clear blue ocean. And soon we found ourselves on the shores of St. Pierre Island. Saying that this island is gorgeous really doesn't do it justice. The whole place feels like it's taken out of a postcard. Oh, and although it might look like this, then this small dance that I'm doing is not because I'm happy, but much more because the rocks under my feet just happen to be burning hot. Yet as we soon found out, the real beauty of St. Pierre was hidden beneath the waves. The biodiversity and beauty that can be experienced here is hard to match. We were constantly surrounded by hundreds of curious fish who were most probably trying to figure out what kind of weird skinny manatees we actually were. The sea floor was covered with beautiful corals in all shapes and sizes. And you can probably understand that describing the magic of being able to swim with graceful sea turtles is simply hard to put in words. So I'll be honest, if someone at this point of time would have told me that all of what we had seen so far was pretty much just a warm-up for the main part of the tour, I would simply not have believed them. But like many times before, we were in for a surprise. And we have made it to our final destination. From above, Tortoises Island looks like your regular tropical paradise. Its beaches are made of fine soft sand, and the water surrounding it are in every shade of blue. But what makes this island truly unique are the animals that live here. The very same giants that young palm trees have to protect themselves from. It took us about half an hour of hiking when we suddenly heard a strange noise. It was like nothing we have ever heard before. But still, we decided to follow this weird call. And there they were. 4 giant Aldabra tortoises. A sight I had dreamt about seeing ever since I was a kid. Or well, maybe not quite that sight. Because as we soon found out, this is not how those tortoises usually sound. I think we accidentally invited ourselves to a wedding. We just happened to catch them in a very intimate time. Let's allow the newlyweds do their own thing. But as we continued to walk, the tortoises were suddenly everywhere.
You're going around, and then you find the bush when there's 10 tortoises.
They had gathered on this side of the island, and it was impossible to miss them. When you're walking on a forest, don't step on a tortoise. When you're walking in a forest, don't step on a tortoise. It is estimated that a shocking 100,000 giant tortoises live here in the Seychelles. And believe it or not, it's exactly the same amount as there are people here. Those beautiful animals can live twice as long as humans and can weigh up to 250 kilograms. Like dinosaurs, just moving very slowly. To me, they really look like living fossils. Gentle giants from the days long past. They are extremely chill. And just watching them go about their everyday business filled my heart with joy and felt like a true privilege. Well, there you have it, my friends. That was about 5 minutes of a giant tortoise's life. You eat, you drag yourself on your belly, you eat, you drag yourself on a little bit on your belly. That's life. And when it was time to once again leave the islands behind, I couldn't help but wonder how wrong I had been about this country. Thanks to social media, I expected it to be just another beach destination. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
But with every passing day, it became clear that the world's best beaches are but a small bonus compared to the incredible nature and culture that can only be found in the Seychelles. And just like I promised before, if you would like more detailed information about traveling this country, then there's some great news for you. We have just finished putting together our own Seychelles travel guide, which is literally designed to make planning your own adventure as easy and affordable as possible. It covers big topics like transportation and accommodation, all the way to the smallest details, like from where to find the best tours. And just like you saw from our experience, even a little bit of insider knowledge is guaranteed to save you a lot of resources. So to purchase your own guide, make sure to follow the link in the description of this video. And friends, we hope to see you back on this channel next Thursday, in a little bit less than a week. Bye.